Testing 111. Oh, move this up here. Okay, I think we're all on. Yeah, please turn your mics on. Dale's on. I'm sorry.
Um, Sean,
Yep.
this uh, planning board recommendation was there was um there was another Gary Palmer had also submitted for the planning board.
I did not. Yeah, until the he wanted to be on that comp plan. Planning board was a second consideration that he wanted to be on as well. The planning board already had their person for the comp plan as well as their alternate. So at this time, that's why, because he wanted to be on that comp plan committee.
Did we talk to him about that before, or did
I
that
did
just
not.
see?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
I'll wait
I
till.
don't think that we should be um voting without, because I know that he put in
We
for
can
that
still
too.
do.
Yeah.
What I planned on doing is, as soon as the comp plan was over with, then I was definitely submitting his name as well.
Yeah, I guess that I just think that that's something that we should allow him the opportunity to decide what he
Yep.
would like to do, and
He could be on either one, but not both at
right.
this time.
So there on here, Sean added motion approved planning board recommendation of Ben Mathis as an alternate. And I was just asking because I know that Gary Palmer had put his name in, and I didn't know if possibly there were others, and so I was wondering how this kind of came about. And he was saying that it was because he had said he wanted to be on the comp plan. So, but I said, well, that really should be his decision as to what he would like to do that way.
Yeah, you got us. Okay, we're up and running, right? Okay, good. Thank you. Yep. Okay, bye. Okay, we're good. Something I just remembered. Okay. problem before.
And then it worked for about 10 minutes.
Yours working fine?
What's that?
Your computer?
Yeah. Well, he redid mine this morning. I've had problems the last week and a half with my computer. And they rebooted it, but I couldn't log in with a new login until I got here because the system wouldn't pick it up until I got physically picked up. That's actually a phone call that I sent you today. Was saying I can't look at that email because I don't have a computer. So I just opened it. It's up and running.
Okay. Joe's got his up and running.
I got it. Yeah, those are the computers for the hydraulic. For the coffee. Texas. Computer.
Everyone's favorite.
Perry had asked a question pertaining to Gas Boy. You want to enlighten us with what we have found out?
That's what Joe told.
Yeah.
That he cannot get the data out of it.
And that's working with, you got the two companies, Gas Boy and, yeah, that's Ryan too.
Pump duct.
Yeah.
He tried to get the data out with the pump doctor, working off with
Microphone's on, but you're not registering whatsoever, so it's like you're too far from it.
Maybe I'm not close enough.
That's right.
Okay. So Joe worked with the pump doctor, Nate, their computer guy, and they could not get the data out of the system. So now we have to go to Gas Boy, by their service contract. I don't remember exactly how much it was. And we can retrieve the data then, but what we can do from that point, I'm not sure.
Do we have to retrieve the data or can we just move forward with where we are?
We can move forward, but we have no way to know how much fuel is going to the fire department.
So,
that amount hasn't changed much in the 8 years that I've been here.
right.
So for me to average what they've been using,
It's not a huge deal.
I don't see a problem with that. No. Isn't the system more for like bigger outfit and bigger companies? It gives us security though. And it's still a decent dollar. Yeah.
I guess one of the things that I was kind of thinking, like, and I could be wrong. I know that Joe was saying he wanted to retrieve that data so that we didn't lose it. But moving forward, like if we know how big that tank is and we know how much fuel, like if we, fill it up and then say, okay, we know it's filled and you're still going to be able, like if we can set up the system that we can still see how much is coming out, as we're filling tanks or as we're doing things, we can move forward. We can start at a 0 point and move forward.
So now you're back to the, we spent, I don't remember the amount we spent on that whole system. Just gonna throw that out the window.
But if we have to pay another $6,000 per year for a system that I'd rather say, like what I'm saying is we would still be using the features of the system.
And they can't get fuel unless they go to the kiosk and put in their PIN number.
Yep.
And we know where that fuel
fuel. Right.
When
So-
we change equipment, when we buy new equipment, we have no way to change, I have no way to get into the computer to change that over to the new truck or new vehicle, whatever it may be.
But most of the time when we are using, like, so we get rid of a vehicle and we get a vehicle, we have a replacement vehicle. So if we just kind of keep that track for that same it's not like, I understand what you're saying, but I think that if there's a way that we can make it work with what we have, continuing, I'm not saying just like not use it at all. I'm saying
Well,
to,
you- sure.
right.
I mean, you could unhook it all and go by the meter that's on the pump. And people record it.
Yeah.
You're losing all the security if you don't use it.
But my understanding was from what Joe was saying is that, like, yeah, we may have lost the historical data, but that doesn't mean that he can't still do what he was trying to do for Shelby in moving forward.
Oh, we can still use it, but we just, like I said, you're not able to record anything. You can't change anything in there. Yes, I know, but what good does it do me to, okay, I know that truck 300 was replaced with a different truck, and that's gas. What if we went from gas to diesel? We'd have to put in a different numbered vehicle to get diesel out of the pump. See what I'm saying? You have to put
Yeah.
in that number, that vehicle, your ID number, the pump number.
Right.
It's up to the board, what you guys wanna do.
Well, what was the number that was gonna cost us? Does anybody?
Pull it up. So just that when we put it in, it was for security. So nobody was stealing gas or diesel. We knew where it was going. We had a ledger on it, and we also had the amount that the fire department. Do we have cameras out there in that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know, for the monthly fee that they were talking, it's almost like they're stealing as more gas than what we'd be losing.
It's a yearly fee. You remember how much it was, Sean?
Were we having problems before
With,
with gas and diesel missing?
oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, are the pumps outside?
They're on the backside of the building. Yeah.
Is there a lock on the pump, meters and everything on the pumps? Or?
Now there's a kiosk.
Okay.
They have to have the right numbers to push in it to enter them. So
How many?
it's just two pumps.
Just
gas
two pumps.
and diesel.
Gas and diesel, basic.
Yep.
And only, how many people actually have access to it? Normally you would say would have access to it?
My four. The summer help.
Does the fire department have?
We
Do
didn't
they
have
actually
four
come
when-
down and do it themselves?
Without,
Yeah. The fire department.
I'm gonna say 10 people maybe. Maybe more. No, probably more.
The fire department could put, hey, go down, just jump in the truck.
All you gotta have is the right numbers.
So for fuel site module patch for an on-premise fleet head version 7 is considered a patch, and we would then be able to get that key updated. This is the patch option, would be $6,000 plus an annual support agreement of $1,511 annually. So it would be an initial $6,000 investment and then an annual $1,500 after that. For the what she was pushing more, so that would be a patch to make what we have work.
Yeah.
What she was pushing more was the Ecos fuel site module, which was going to be about $2,140 annually, plus $3,000 to migrate from the computer into their module. So we're looking at, after potentially 6 years, you're looking at the same price for
Yeah.
both of them, really, and they're both. Either one is going to be a significant investment.
$1,500 investment a year plus 250 gallons of diesel.
And that's plus
Are
this.
we losing that much?
So, when you put it in those terms, this is my opinion, but my opinion only. Keep going with what we're doing, and if the fire department is okay, and the board is okay with me averaging what the fire department uses or has been using.
Yeah.
The past years, we'll keep going with that. I mean, I can't see spending that kind of money.
I mean, this is what.
They're holding us hostage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no other companies out there that does that.
There's another company that has this type of software. There's gotta be.
I don't know that. That's beyond my computer technology.
So we can do, we got security now, and we got, the fire department can write it in. At least if they don't like our numbers, they can start writing in what they're taking.
Barry Flansburgh asked, because Barry's the treasurer, asked me to give him the bill, and usually I have it to him way before this, but I've been waiting to see what we want to do here. And he was okay with me doing the average. That's what I gave him last year, and there was no
Right.
problem.
Another thought that I guess that I would still like to see, because my understanding is that Joe was going to first try and get the historical data, and if he couldn't retrieve that, my understanding was that he was still saying that there's something that he might be able to do to make it work for us. I don't know how much updating or how much additional, but that we could at least kind of continue moving forward, and that's what he was going to try to be doing with Shelby too. So okay.
He has tried. He was on the field. We asked him to get he was complaining. He said by working on it and trying to pull information, and they couldn't do it. The gentleman's recommendation to Joe was that we get the software upgrade, and then they might be able to set it up the way Joe was talking about before, where he'd be able to get a program put together for it.
Yeah.
How much was the software upgrade? Was that the 2100?
I think that no, the software is the patch, which was the 6,000. So, because the software upgrade, that would be like the patch, like just fixing it. Whereas they were trying to sell us on. That's why they were saying the better option is just buy our whole new system that is gonna be, because you're gonna be kind of breaking even after a few years, anyways.
Sean, do you remember how much we paid for that system? Wasn't it like 10 or 11 grand?
The other thing that I was thinking, and I don't, is just checking in with Keelers have more trucks that obviously a lot more trucks than what we have, but Keelers and Panics and the farms that have Van Lieshout that have on site fuel, see what they use.
I'll tell you what you use.
This is the same thing that we have. Oh.
Goodwill.
Oh, writing it
Yeah.
down.
Goodwill.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
Right. They have one key that turns all the pumps on.
Okay.
And they have that lock.
Right.
Every employee has a number.
Well, that's getting back to what George said. He did the math at 1,500 divided by $6 fuel for diesel. You have
250 gallons
250
lost.
gallons. I mean, what's the lesser of two evils? I mean, how much do you trust people? How much do you have security? I think it's a lot of money.
We got security now, though, too.
Yeah, I mean, $6,000.
We never had
try to
cameras
upgrade.
before.
Right.
That sounds like a
When
lot.
When we were having the thievery, we didn't have cameras.
Right.
But especially if it was put out there more, whether it be your guys or the fire department, where if you're out, you're fired. Or prosecute, period.
Yeah.
You know, none of this, I was gonna let you know I borrowed 40 gallons of whatever.
The pumps don't work unless you have five.
No five. It's all input into the kiosk. Pin.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every truck.
But that's what he's saying is that if
If-
we get new trucks and stuff, that complicates and
You
makes
have
it
to
a
put
little
in
bit.
one more truck or two more trucks, which.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Where usually all the big trucks are diesel, obviously. Usually the pickup truck that I drive is the gas. So I have not been able to, since I got this one, I haven't been able to put that truck into the system.
Right.
But you can make your own number for that truck.
I'm
It
still
should.
I'm still using the old truck.
The old truck
300.
number, yeah. Because you
But
can't
it
put
doesn't
it
know
up.
that it's a Ford compared to what it was with a Chevy.
But it knows it's you entering your number.
Yeah.
I mean,
Does it keep track of the pin numbers? You know, so and so got so many gallons of
Yeah.
this pin number, so it is doing that.
if we did no upgrade, it would still do that, correct?
Yeah.
So, but you got to
No way. I mean, he records that Dale got fuel for his truck. We don't really.
Yeah, but
We don't really care if it's a Chevy or Ford. He knows it's a Chevy or Ford.
Right, but he's saying we don't know. It's not giving you that data back. It's not giving you that anything. It's letting you do it, and it's recording it, but it's not telling you. You don't have any access.
It's in the system.
But because Microsoft 10 decided that they no longer support anything, it went goodbye. We can't get it because unless we pay for the software.
Is there a place that they could do a written log, or is it? I mean, weather-wise.
They must have done it years and years and years.
Years ago, or before this system, they had like the old Coke machine key, a house key,
Mm-hmm.
and that hung on your key ring for that vehicle. Or it hung on the inside board, inside the vehicle, or the
I don't know. I would say now you have to, you have to pin to get in, and then write in how much you take.
so. Gas is not a problem. Recording how much you get. If the diesel is on the top of the pump, you got to climb the thing and then. But I mean,
Okay.
we all have that capability of climbing to get up there to turn the thing to zero. But
Okay.
do we?
It's another.
Do I look at that data?
Okay.
I mean, I'll look at it once a year to see that 7 used a lot more fuel. 310 did, but I know that those two trucks are usually farmed out to other towns. They truck a lot more, where 304 does not, because that's Tom. Tom is in a grader, usually in a piece of equipment, so his truck sits most of the summer.
Still yelling at me. We're not talking in lights here. Jeez.
Joe,
All right. So I think it's coming down to a luxury. Once acquired comes a necessity, but the necessity is going to cost us too much.
At some point, I'm thinking that the company is going to set that gas board could say, "Okay, you're done. You're done. They can shut it off." I don't know. That might be a Joe question, or a Nate from Pump Doctor question.
Well, was there an original contract with it where it says you're good for 10 years, 20, whatever?
I don't know.
Or we guarantee we won't stop service.
Our contract was with Pump Doctor. I don't remember that time frame on it.
What was it monthly after the 6,000?
It's annual, but it was 1,500
1,500
annually. Yeah. So I'm just looking quick, just Googling, and I did find some like fuel tank or fuel monitoring systems for like refueling and just like fleet monitoring systems. And I don't know, what the startup is, but I'm finding ones for like $5 per vehicle up to 10 vehicles, different things that way. That might be something like that. I guess I'm just saying that it looks like there are, maybe some other systems out there that,
I'm sure there are.
um,
I remember 10 to 11 grand for this system.
That's what bothers me the most.
Yeah.
We've laid out a lot of money for this system. If only we could have or find software that could operate that system.
Maybe we need a better IT
Software
person.
to handle the hardware. I'm sorry.
Maybe we need a better IT person.
got that
he's
right
giving
into the
Joe a
mic,
hard
too.
hard time. Yeah.
You got something to say?
So yeah,
That's pretty good for me.
that is very
Remember
good.
that.
So and do we have a contract that we can go back at and look at that and see what
I'll
or
look.
yeah,
I remember seeing you're guaranteed for this many years.
I mean 3 years seems like it's pretty short for
It
not
was
being
pretty,
functioning for a
it was pretty
$12,000
good.
investment.
And there was other, Shelby, and I think one or two other towns that had
Yeah.
the same system. I thought we were golden.
Right.
know?
Right.
And we had shopped around
Right.
at that point. I just think we'll throw that 11 grand away.
Right.
Have
I-
a system like this. Because if not, they could go a year and say, we're done.
Well, they probably have some disclaimer in there that says that
In the event of,
in the event of Microsoft not supporting that, what am I trying to think of?
System
That system,
or
that-
software.
that they can back out of it. My turn.
if we could find that, that'd be the next step. Just so we know if it's,
I'll look
we
it up.
gotta know today or if,
Right.
we have another 2 years, a year, whatever.
I'll look it up.
They're basically holding us hostage.
Yeah.
Well,
They're still
it
supporting
w-
it, and then they're going to take and say, yeah, but you got to pay us more now.
Well, I love the fact that, it's, the world's gonna stop because this all happened. But if you give us more money, the world doesn't stop.
It's Pump Doctor that we had the contract with. I don't believe we signed a contract with Gas Boy.
Right.
What's
So
the difference
Gas Boy
between
has a contract with Pump Doctor.
Right. And maybe we need to say Pump Doctor like, hey, hold their feet to the fire and say, look, this
Yeah.
is not acceptable. We need a resolution that's going to work for
Yeah.
everybody. And right now, what they're proposing,
be
we
paying
can't.
somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
How much use do we go? Well, we could. We're buying. We should have that.
Well, I could look at purchase records.
Yeah.
But that's the only way I could look at it.
Right. That's what I mean. So kind of roughly.
Sometimes I buy, now going into the winter season, I'll buy $1,000 worth of winter fuel.
Okay.
So if the tank isn't that low and we get to fall, and so it varies every year. But I could look back to see what we bought.
Or just all you gotta do- get,
I have the
Get-
dollar amounts in
yeah.
my ledger, but
let's just take that and divide
I don't
it by.
know how much
divide
we
it by
pay
4.
because that price varies.
Let's divide it by 4 just to get a
It'll
guesstimate.
take me a little while to go through.
So
Do we always get the fuel from the same place? pretty much last few
Do we
years?
what? I'm sorry.
Pretty much at the same location, I mean, the same company.
It's the same company, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's NOCO, isn't it? NOCO?
No. Well, Norco is gas.
Okay.
Diesel is Morbito or Morabito, or however you want to pronounce it. But the subcontractor for them is Valley. Valley Fuel. They're out of James.
Can we talk about the Water District 10 letters?
Yeah, here, Joe just sent me a text message. He said, Pump Doctor has said there's nothing they can do. They fought with Gas Boy multiple times with other towns and are running into the same problem. The problem isn't the software, it's the fact that Gas Boy has turned off the ability to activate the software.
So maybe this is something that we need to take to the news. I'm not trying to be, but if there is a company that has chosen to do this and not to work with these municipalities, and but again, before we do that, we need to look at the contract and look at what it actually says. But I just don't think that's right for a company to withhold that when it's already been purchased.
Well, before we do that, we definitely need the contract and maybe have Bridget read it over. So, well,
Right.
and here it says you won't, this is our out. It's,
Right.
Those big companies, man, they love to have those contracts written certain ways.
Right.
And then if we did have it in front of us, then if they should be servicing us, then that might be.
Right.
But yeah, about the letter with Water District 10.
Yes.
Yes. John, did you get that made up?
Dale, Joe just wrote, I believe it's the maintenance contract. Are you still paying it? We're not paying any maintenance contract.
No.
Okay.
Has it needed any maintenance in the 3 years?
No.
I mean, it's pretty basic, right? I mean,
Yeah. Punch numbers in, get fuel.
But now they want a maintenance contract.
no, it's basically what it is. We're gonna upsell it like we already bought.
With the letter on Water District 10, what do we got here? Okay, we got time. With the letter on Water District 10 to the households, basically it's the same old letter that I had sent out before, a comparison of the numbers, pointing out that it goes from $508 per year to $1,080 per year in debt service that would be on their tax bill every year. Now, Dave and I have talked about this a couple times here, and what I have done since then is that, number one, we met with Dale and I met with the superintendent and the supervisor of Clarendon along with the engineer, because Clarendon presently is putting in their last water district number 12 or 13. And when we met with them, Dale and I were under the assumption that they were running a main up Transit Road. they are not. They're just running a 2-inch line up to a new house that is in the process of being constructed on Transit, on the east side of Transit. So with them, we asked them, well, what would it cost? I mean, you have two dead ends right there that are only a few hundred feet apart. Why not complete a loop connecting Mansfield and Brown Schoolhouse Road? And in doing that, then we could possibly, if they were to do that, we could have the people on Transit as out-of-district users. Now, what we would have to do is create a new water district, because that would guarantee that people on Transit would connect as out-of-district users, which would make it a little bit more feasible for Clarendon to do it. If they just put it in hopes that people on Transit would hook in, then it's not going to be, it's going to cost them more money doing it that way than it would if we created a district. So right now, the engineer is working on numbers, what it would cost Clarendon to close that off and make that a loop. And then Transit Road could become, there's 8 residences on Transit Road. And what it would cost them then as out-of-district users to tap into Clarendon's water right there. So they're working on those numbers at this time. What I have also done is I contacted Rural Development, which is USDA out of Batavia, which is who we get our loans from all the time for these water districts. I pointed out to them that we have the poorest segment of our town that will be paying the highest debt service in the whole town of all the other water districts. And that is not really feasible or appropriate kind of, you can't put it on those people. You can't, on any of us, really. None of us would want to pay over $1,000 in debt service. The next highest one, I think, might be Water District 9 at $718. I think that's the highest one in town. So he contacted their head office in New York State, and they came back, and the recommendation, because he said they've got ways of finding money and helping with these type of situations. He understood what I was talking about. They came back and told me that what we need to do is apply for what is called a CDBG block grant or a WIA grant. WIA's, that's a grant that our water department up here got just to do upgrades on our water system up here. Those have to be in by around May, June is when those applications have to be applied for, the deadline. And then you find out they're just notifying people at this time now who has gotten them. So it looks like we could, according to them, we could easily get a CDBG because of the income survey we did in that area, and what it's so cost prohibitive for the residents in that area. So that's prolonging it another year at this time. I wrote to the governor's office asking what the story is, because I remember her getting on TV there. I can't remember if it was back in the springtime or early summer, saying that she has written into law all this stuff for providing better quality water. It was an initiative that she was pushing through so that we can expand our water throughout the state. So I wrote the same type of letter, what I told RD there about low-income area and the most expensive water district that would be built because of COVID. And I have not heard a response back as of yet. Oh, yes, I did get a response back. Thank you very much. I appreciate your input, and thank you for helping us make New York State a better state.
You got the form letter.
Yeah. Signed, Governor Kathy Hochul. So I haven't heard anything back there yet. I have spoken with a number of people on transit, and I've spoke with a number of people on Angevine, and it's basically like what you found out, George. They're all saying we want water, we need water, but now that it's over $1,000, they're saying that they don't want to pay that, and I can't say I blame them. But I don't want to dissolve the water district yet. We have all the paperwork sent in to the comptroller's office. All that work has been accomplished. We just got to wait to hear back from the comptroller. And like Dave, you pointed out, we can cancel this at any time. What I'm trying to find is supplemental ways that we could pay down or eliminate some of that debt service. And our ARPA is not anywhere near enough money to do that.
Okay, so I agree with everything that you were just saying, and I appreciate you reaching out to rural development and to doing that footwork, because I think that that's important. I think that's going to be really helpful to us. What I have some concerns, and that I would like to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. So we initially said that we wanted to write this letter to C, because when Dad originally did his door-to-door talking to people, I think there was a distrust as to whether what he was sharing back was accurate. And I think that now you're saying that you're kind of experiencing the same thing in the conversations that you had. It's not that people don't want water, it's that they feel they cannot afford it at this price point.
And I take exception to you saying there was a distrust. Well, go ahead.
Okay. Well, okay, that's fine. So, so the reason that we were going to do the survey or do a letter out and get numbers back is because at that time the thought process was that a majority did still want it, and we wanted to move forward even at that price point, despite that being different from what Dad had found in his conversation, in his I don't know, in surveying. Right. Either way, right. So, but we did pass a resolution as a board that we were going to do that survey. I don't think that that should be something that we spend time on if we're all in agreement that the current price point is not sufficient. And so my thoughts now is to make an amendment to that motion, or create an additional motion resolution saying that at this point we as a board feel that the price point is just too high for that water district, but that we are will communicate out with the residents of that water district that we haven't given up hope on it, but we need more time to do more work on it to try and get it to a price point that is affordable to that community, to that water district, and just fill them in on what our efforts are. So it's not like, oh, we said we were going to do this, now we're not doing it, and we haven't communicated with them why or what's going on, where we are in the process.
Well, my thought on this is I think we really need to know, I think the price point's high for anything. And I think, though, we really need to know who really wants water and give them the worst case scenario and write in the letter, this is what we're trying for. And one of the questions in the letter could be, do you want us to wait to see if it will come down, or how soon do you need water? I think you're going to see both ends. You're going to see the younger people, I think, saying, we need water now. And the older people that are on, assistance or Social Security, whatever, they're going to say, I just can't afford it. But I think we really need to put that letter out there with all this in there, put in the worst case scenario, and you come back with less is always better.
Right.
That way, there's no surprises. Hey, you said it was gonna be X and it only was this now because you got these grants net? Hey, good for all you guys. Thank you. But at least we would know how many people really want it. If there's 4 people that end up, after they were thinking about it, you only want it, then it's not worth it. It's a moot point. You could shut down everything like right away and move on to other topics.
I'd say offhand, there's probably going to be about 5 to 8 people that are strongly want it. I mean, they're willing to pay and they want it now. And it's like, man, you gave me the carrot, you gave me hope, and now you're taking it away. My problem with that is, though, that's not the majority. The majority can't afford it. We need to work with that and get the price down. So that
Well, that's where we go through a letter and say, yes or no, here's what we got. And me and Sean last week about it, he's gonna put the letter together with the new figures in that. And in fact, we were talking about doing it on that really nice day, which would have been, the letter would have done, we hadn't talked yet, so
but
it would have been really nice.
The difference is going to be those half units. There's a lot of those half units that are.
Well, and me and Sean said we would do it. I think at least get out there and see in today's world, today's money. Do you want to know? Yes or no? Give me an X here, and if you don't, we completely understand. And if we do, we understand that too. But we at least need to know where everybody stands.
Right.
You know, I think that's like number one before we do anything else. Because right now, if we can get grants, great. That's super for them. But if only 10 people want it and 25 say no.
So how soon will the engineers have have those new figures?
He never said.
What's that going to cost us? Because that's going to be probably a pretty penny. And how's it going to change the rest of Water District 10? You take those 8 houses away.
We'd have to dissolve Water District 10 and then create a new water district.
Just Transit would be 10 and
Transit, it wouldn't even be one of our water districts. It would be one of their water districts, which is 12 or 13. 12. So they would connect into that. We would have to dissolve water. Now, that's another question I have.
that's going to
Because what if, and I was talking with Bridget about, in case you don't know, Bridget O'Toole will not be here tonight, but we have Bridget Cook here
Hi,
tonight.
Bridget.
Hi, Bridget.
Is that a prerequisite? You got to have that name? Okay, just wondered.
It just makes it a lot easier for us to remember.
Yeah.
In talking with Bridget O'Toole, what we could do with this insofar as modifying Water District 10. In other words, pick up a couple of areas where we could close off some loops. Let's say like Bragg Schoolhouse, where we would pick up one large farm and 5 residences right there. So you're going to have people paying into it.
That's what you need. You need to get more people, houses that want
Yeah.
to do it and lower the cost.
And
lower
they're
the debt
asking
service.
for water as well. But if we can modify Water District 10 so that we still would have to modify it. We're going to have to change it because you establish a water district. If we modify it, I don't know.
Crane Road too. Water. There's other.
Well, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
There'll be additional engineering costs and a lot of other costs too.
Like starting all over again.
Just about. Just about. So it's a dilemma. And I asked about what about I see water going in the ground out in Bergen out there. Now what are they doing? Well, they got a large project of about 200 EDUs in that project. But the point being is they're still putting it in the ground. They had people objecting, but they went ahead. They're doing it anyways. There's been a few other towns I've driven through where water districts are going in, but they are paying the higher cost.
Before the meeting starts, did we get I'm concerned on the bills for the root bill. I read through what you sent out. I was wondering what Bridget's thoughts were on that.
I did not send that to Bridget, to tell you the truth.
Okay, because I don't feel comfortable. I know that was something that she felt she advised us against doing. And I think that this is one of those things that
You-
we shouldn't move forward without.
She had advised us not to move forward with it based on what I had received from
The Association of Towns and the
Association of Towns and the
insurance.
insurance company, Nymir,
Right.
because they had said he did not give advance notification on or anything else. Then we had located that resolution from 2010 where the town board at that time said that the town would reimburse for
Right.
any how was it worded? I don't have that in front of me.
I understand that. I don't feel like I feel like this is one of those nuanced situations that we also, I don't know if we got the additional information from him that would just buttress and help support
The
this
information
resolution.
I had given you before, I've got that sitting in on my desk there, which just shows the outcome from the hearing and the bill from the lawyer.
When he came and spoke to us at our workshop, at the last workshop, he said that he was going to get us the documentation from his higher up, the
He
the
did.
superior, and I thought that that's what we were. Again, I don't necessarily know that that will be the deciding factor for. I just
He
like that was documentation that he was going to provide to us to support in moving forward, even if it was against what
Let me double
Bridget had
check with
advised
him on
us.
that. It seemed to me a conversation I had with him was that originally the judge that oversees this judicial area had told him to get the assistance, but he said when he was asking him for documentation now, he was backpedaling. So he was unable to get anything from that judge.
Okay. I guess I'm just sharing. I'm not comfortable moving
we
forward without
can,
having Bridget input on
we
that.
can put that off until our end of the year
Yeah,
meeting.
that's fine. Yep.
Okay. Meanwhile, then I'll get that information over to Bridget with the resolution from 2010. I'll double check with the judge to see if he was able to squeeze something out of that
Right.
judge for this area, and we'll move from there.
Yeah.
About have her give me how many hours it's going to take her, because if all of a sudden it's going to take her 12, 15 hours and we're paying her the same amount we'd be paying, let's take care of.
It just seems strange that a judge that's the head of a judicial, he wouldn't put it in writing. Isn't that what judges do? Put things in writing, whether it be either way. You know,
As long as you put something in writing that we can't read, that's okay. Okay, we're going to close down the workshop for right now and start the board meeting. Let's take a 5-minute break. You want to just put that on mute?
I found Pump Doctor bill from December 22nd, 22.